The debt collector's voice cut through the phone like a knife. "Ma'am, your father owes us $47,000, and since you're his next of kin, we're coming after you." I almost laughed. "My father died 3 years ago." "You've got the wrong person." David Martinez, Social Security ending in 4739? "Very much alive, ma'am. Very much in debt." My world tilted sideways. I gripped the kitchen counter so hard my knuckles went white. This had to be a mistake. I'd buried my father. I'd thrown dirt on his casket. I'd cried over his grave for 3 years. Dad had been my everything growing up. Just the two of us after Mom died when I was 12. He worked double shifts at the factory to keep food on our table, helped me with homework every night, never missed a single school play or graduation. When he got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer at 62, I quit my job in Denver and moved back home to take care of him. For 8 months, I watched this strong, proud man waste away. Chemo sessions that left him retching for hours. Sleepless nights when the pain was too much. I held his hand when he whispered that he was ready to go, that he'd had a good life because of me. The funeral cost me my entire savings account. $15,000 for a man who deserved so much more. "I need proof," I told the debt collector, my voice shaking. 3 days later, the envelope arrived. Photos that made my blood freeze. Dad at a casino in Vegas, timestamp showing 6 months after his death. Dad getting into a red convertible I'd never seen. Dad laughing with a blonde woman young enough to be his daughter, his arm around her waist. But the real kicker? The medical records. The cancer diagnosis was real, but the prognosis wasn't. Stage 1, not 4. Completely treatable. 90% survival rate. He'd lied about everything. I drove to the cemetery that night and screamed at his empty grave until my throat was raw. 3 years of grief. 3 years of therapy to deal with losing the only parent I had left. 3 years of guilt because I couldn't save him. He wasn't dead. He was in Vegas, living it up with his girlfriend while creditors hunted me down for his gambling debts. The rage came in waves. I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. I called in sick to work for a week straight and just sat in his old chair, staring at those photos. My coworkers were worried. My best friend Sarah kept texting, but I couldn't explain this to anyone. How do you tell people your dead father is actually a fraud? I found myself Googling how to fake your own death at 2 in the morning, trying to understand how he'd pulled this off. Death certificate, funeral home, burial permits, someone had to be helping him. That's when I remembered Uncle Pete. Dad's brother worked at the funeral home that handled everything. He'd given me a family discount and handled all the paperwork personally. Said he wanted to take care of everything so I could focus on grieving. Sweet, helpful Uncle Pete. Who'd hugged me at the funeral and told me Dad was in a better place now. The betrayal cut deeper than anything I'd ever felt. My own family. My own blood. But then something shifted inside me. The grief burned away, leaving pure determination. If Dad wanted to play dead, I'd make sure he stayed that way. I hired a private investigator with money I borrowed against my car. Took her exactly 4 days to track him down. Dad was living in a condo outside Vegas, going by David Ramirez now. His girlfriend was 28. He'd been gambling away her trust fund, apparently. The PI also found something beautiful. Dad's new identity wasn't exactly legal. Fake social security number, forged documents, tax evasion, the works. He was one tip away from federal prison. But I wanted him to know it was me first. I flew to Vegas and waited outside his favorite casino. When he walked out, laughing and counting chips, I was sitting on the hood of his precious convertible. The color drained from his face. "Mija. Don't you dare call me that." I slid off the car. "Dead men don't talk." He tried to explain. The debt. The pressure. How he thought it would be easier this way, give me a clean break to start my own life. How he never meant for me to find out. You let me bury an empty casket, I said quietly. You let me grieve you while you were here playing house with Barbie. His shoulders sagged. For a moment, he looked like the sick old man I'd taken care of. But I was done being manipulated. I pulled out my phone. You have two choices, Dad. Turn yourself in and face the music like a man, or I call the FBI right now and let them sort it out. You wouldn't destroy your own father. I hit the first digit. You destroyed yourself the day you decided to fake your death. He broke down then. Begging. Promising to pay back every penny if I just gave him more time. But I was already dialing. The FBI fraud hotline picked up on the second ring. 3 weeks later, David Martinez was arrested at his condo. The news made local papers. Local man fakes death, abandons daughter. The gambling debts were discharged since he'd committed fraud to incur them. His girlfriend cleaned out their joint accounts and disappeared before the arrest. Uncle Pete got 5 years for his part in the conspiracy. The funeral home lost their license. But the best part? Since Dad was legally dead and now criminally exposed as alive, he couldn't claim any of his old assets or benefits. His pension, his insurance policies, even his beloved truck, all still belonged to his estate. Which meant they belonged to me. I sold everything. Paid off my debts. Put the rest in a college fund. I'm going back to school to become a paralegal. Turns out I have a talent for legal research. Dad calls from prison sometimes. I never answer. As far as I'm concerned, my father really is dead. He died the day he chose his own convenience over his daughter's heart. The real David Martinez was a man who worked 2 jobs to support his daughter, who stayed up late helping with algebra homework, who taught me that family means everything. That man deserves to rest in peace. This stranger in prison? He's just another criminal who made bad choices and got caught. Sometimes people ask if I feel guilty for turning in my own father. But here's what I learned: when someone fakes their death, they're not just abandoning their old life. They're murdering the person you thought they were. I didn't destroy my father. I just stopped pretending the man who raised me and the man who betrayed me were the same person. Have you experienced something like this? Tell me in the comments.